Zone, horse racing taking the spotlight in this segment. It's almost like a movie. That's how trainer Saffie Joseph Jr. described his Gulfstream Park exploits on Saturday in the Pegasus World Cup Invitational. The Barbadian trainer won 3 graded stakes races. Be Your Best took the Grade 2 Sunshine Million Filly and Mere Turf race, while Mystic Lake captured the Grade 2 Inside Information Stakes. The treble was completed with White Abario winning the $3 million Pegasus World Cup Invitational by 6 3/4 lengths.
White Abario makes his move into second now. Moving up toward the inside, that stronghold from between horses, Mystic Dan, but he's dropping back. Trying to get underway is Lock. The favorite has a lot to do. He's warming to the task, 7 lengths off the lead, but the Grays are 1-2. And here comes Florida Derby champ White Abario, looming up on the outside, and he powers right by Saudi Crown. White Abario is opening up with 1/8 of a mile to go. Back to second is Saudi Crown, Skippy Longstocking, and Lock are next. But this is a tour de force, a Pegasus World Cup to add to his Florida Derby and Breeders' Cup resume. White Abario, sharp in victory. Up for second is Lock. Back to third with Skippy
Yeah, Peter Yalo on commentary.
Closer
Peter
forward.
Yalo was live in our studios on the SportsMax Zone about a year and a half ago. Now, with the win, Joseph Jr. is now the #1 trainer this year in the USA. The man himself, Saffie Joseph Jr., joining us to discuss his incredible achievement. Saffie, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Always great to have you talking horse racing on the show. I saw you on TV on Saturday looking very emotional moments after the race. I suspect you've had a couple of days now for it to sink in. What a run there by White Abario. You did express some confidence going into the race, but that 6 3/4 length victory was commanding. I thought probably more commanding than you thought it would have been.
Yeah, most definitely. Going into the race, he showed right signs, and we knew it was important that he needed to break well, but you could never envision him winning like that. I mean, that was beyond expectations, and grateful for him to save that performance for a day like Pegasus.
Yeah, you've had multiple $1 million successes in the past, maybe 6 or 7, but never a $3 million success. How are you digesting all of this? And you had a couple other stakes races on Saturday as well, so the Pegasus World Cup win was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, we had 2 big winners on the day. We won the Pegasus Turf with Be Your Best, and then Mystic Lake won a Grade 2 also. So that was a good day in its own right, but if we didn't win the Pegasus, it would have you would have kind of feel. I mean, you'd be thankful, obviously, but it probably would not feel as sweet. So to get a barrier to run so well and win like that, and Skippy Longstockings to run a creditable third in the race also, it was icing on the cake.
Yeah, and I think you had like a couple of other second place finishes in other stakes races on the card as well. So you were brilliant on Saturday, Saffie. And when we look at the fact that the favourite Locked was so well beaten in the Pegasus, Todd Pletcher, 8-time Eclipse Award-winning trainer and widely regarded as #1 trainer in the USA, did feel as if Locked missing the break at the starting gates affected his horse's chances of winning the event. But your win was so emphatic, Saffie, that even if Locked had broken well, maybe White Abario would still have won.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you never want, as a trainer, you never want your horse to not get away from their well. I think his post position was a big more contributing factor than him not breaking. From Skippy was drawn right next to him, and he beat Skippy a neck. So when you're drawn that wide, going 1.5 miles at Gulfstream, it's not an ideal post. It's hard to say that something would have beat White Abario in the day the way he ran, but that's all speculation. At the end of the day, they all lined up together, and I thought the best horse on the day won.
Yeah, we spoke to you last year, Saffie, and we spoke about the strides that you've made since leaving Barbados and going to Florida back in 2011. You've now won, I think, 11 consecutive meet titles at Gulfstream Park, and your name in U.S. horse racing is right now, as big as you could get. Can you talk to us about your feeling about the strides you've made since arriving in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way when you look back on it. This is what we dreamed of, getting to this level and on our international stage, the top of the USA. And you dream of these kind of things, to get the opportunities from the owners to give you the horses. Without the horses, a trainer is basically nothing. So you need the owners to provide the horses, and then you've got to make the most of the opportunities. And we feel like we have the right horses in the barn, and we're trying to do our best as we can. The horses are performing for us.
Saffie, one of the world's greatest trainers, Sir Michael Stout, retired last year, a Barbadian, and I've been saying on my At the Track show that you look as if you're taking the relay baton from Sir Michael Stout and carrying the Barbados flag high internationally.
Yeah, I feel like not only carrying Barbados, I feel like it's the whole Caribbean. That's how I like. As you know, in the Caribbean, we're the West Indies. So when we represent as a cricket team, you represent the whole of the Caribbean. I feel like I'm from Barbados. Obviously, that's home, and I feel like Jamaica follows a lot of people in Jamaica I know, and I feel like that follow in Trinidad the same way, Guyana. So it's the whole Caribbean. I feel like we're leading a path, hopefully, for future people to do the same and even better than we are. So everybody has to start it, and yet somebody looks up to you and it motivates them to become better than you. And that's what you want as a person, is to influence people to achieve their best capabilities.
Yeah, and Saffie, even before Saturday's success at the Eclipse Awards this past week, your horse Soul of an Angel, who won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, was rated the top female sprinter, won the Eclipse Award as a top female sprinter. So your successes at Gulfstream Park this past weekend pretty much just solidified what an outstanding week you have had.
Yeah, we did. I mean, that was our first Eclipse Award winner. She won the Breeders' Cup for us, our first Breeders' Cup winner. So a lot of firsts, and hopefully there will be more to come. We're going to continue to work hard to get more, hopefully. Nothing's given, so you have to keep working hard, and hopefully the opportunities keep coming and the results keep getting higher and higher. We came off our best year last year, and if you told me a few years ago, can you have a year like that, I'd be very pleased to have that kind of year. But now you set the bar, you almost have to work harder to try to raise it even more.
Yeah, I think 264 wins last year, Saffie, and I think about 35 stakes races as well. Talk to me quickly, Saffie, about Barbados as a training ground for thoroughbred racing personalities, because I hear from a jockey's standpoint, like a Patrick Husbands, who has ridden more winners in North America than any other Caribbean rider in history. And the feeling is that because the Garrison Savannah racetrack is so tight and small, you have to be really skilled as a rider to master the Garrison Savannah. So when you go to big, tracks with softer turns and so on, it's like cheese, because you learned the hard way. But how would you explain the trainer's successes like yourself and a groom like Peter Lopez, who is based at Woodbine, whose horse Moira won the Eclipse Award as a female turf top horse, and the outstanding grooms that have been doing well overseas generally? How would you explain that? I've said I understand why the jockeys have succeeded, but what's behind this Barbados success with producing international level horsemen?
I think overall the horsemanship is always the basic, no matter where it is. So let's start, for instance, with the grooms. So the grooms at the barn, whether he's at the barn in Florida, England, Australia, or Barbados, or Jamaica, they're taking care of the horse. And the horsemanship is one thing that's strong in Barbados. They produce such good horsemen as far as grooms. They care. And I think that's the most important factor is once you care and you have a love for something, you're going to go beyond what's average or expectations. And that's the thing. The passion for horses and racing in Barbados is big. Same thing in Jamaica. You see that love and passion for the horse. And Jamaica produces a ton of top-class grooms. So I think it leads from the grooms to trainers. And the jockeys, obviously, in Barbados is a unique course. It's a tight racetrack, tight turns. And that's what makes it so unique for the riders.
Yeah. All right, Saffie, we're going to leave it there. Always a pleasure talking to you, and congratulations on the fabulous job that you've been doing so far. I don't see you losing this championship, Gulfstream Park meet as champion trainer, which you have won a couple of times before now. And all the best for the remainder of the year. You're not 40 years old yet, Saffie, and the work that you have done is well documented. The Caribbean is really, really proud of what you've been able to achieve so far, and we wish you the best for 2025.
Thank you very much, Lance.
Okay, that's Saffie Joseph, winner of the $3 million Gulfstream Park. Big race over the weekend, the Pegasus World Cup. 11-time champion trainer at Gulfstream Park in Florida and on course for a 12th. We'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.